Okay, I thought this was interesting. This is from 2001. This is a year after Billy Bass. Billy Bass was in the year 2000. So the line wasn't really that developed at this point, and the PowerPoints later became much bigger. There was many more items. But this was kind of the first presentation after Billy Bass, or maybe the second, that showed the different items that we were working on. PowerPoint has always been the main vehicle to communicate with the buyers then and now. At this point, we were probably printing the PowerPoints and covering it with them, and then maybe bringing the laptop to a meeting, before we presented samples, or we would have samples with us. The videos don't work in this because I don't have the links to the videos, but you can get an idea of the items, kind of one of the first lines after Billy Bass that we developed. So let's see. Animation. So this is Singing Plush Dog. This is the Party Pooch. This is a huge item for us. We did this with like the NFL, I think college. So we had like NFL jerseys on it, or college hats, or I can't remember. But this is a really big item for us. It's saying who let the dogs out. So this was a top item at the time. And then we had a smaller version of the dog. This is an item that I did not do. Most of the items in this PowerPoint are items that I created. This is an item that our creative director at the time created. I never liked this item. There's a next page shows another version of it, because I didn't understand, where would you put it? You're not going to put shoes on a counter or on a shelf. It needs to, put on the floor of your closet. I just never got it, and it didn't sell. So it turned out to be right. But these are animated shoes, where the shoes kind of go back and forth and act like they're dancing. Here's like the dancing loafers, the same thing. This song was the twist. This song was the boots are made for walking. Didn't work. Bongo Gorilla, this sings a song, I don't want to work, I just want to bang on the drums all day. This was a decent item. It wasn't a great item, but we sold a lot of pieces of this, and we had a smaller version of it as well. Dancing hamsters. This is the first time we introduced the dancing hamsters. So you'll see these are the original ones that were not plush. These went into KB Toys, and originally it just blew out, and it just kind of gave us the impetus to do the dancing hamsters. We ended up doing over 100 styles. This was a huge item for Gemmy and for me. This is kind of one of my favorite items, because one thing at the time, this is the smallest animation out there. I was told so many times, it won't work, you can't make it that small, and I kept persevering. I kept saying, yeah, you can do it. If you make this mouth move on this time, you can, make this. And I finally got them to do it. And I'm glad I did, because this, again, there was over 100 styles, with license, just different songs. It worked really well. The latex ones didn't, after we shipped them the first ones, we decided to make them all plush, because the latex, after a year, we found out it was peeling. This was before we used soft PVC, and the plush ones were a better style anyway. So these are the first 6 styles that I'm showing you. Also, at the time we released this, we tried some plush hamsters, and that's what we ended up going to. I mean, the Kung Fu hamsters were the biggest of the dancing hamsters. They were huge. And these were the first 2 plush hamsters we did, were the Kung Fu ones, which happened to be the best ones. So here are all the dancing hamsters that for all the original dancing hamsters that we showed. The singing rock sings old time rock and roll. So this thing mouth would move, and then it would spin. And it was okay. It didn't really sell that great, but it was worth a shot. And then here's another one. This Life is a Rock. Life is Rock, and the radio rolled me. I think the old time rock and roll was probably better, but neither one was that great. Mini mechanical animals. We sold the mechanical animals to KB, which you'll see on the next page. These are mini versions of them. So these are all like demonstrated in KB tables. They put batteries in themselves. This is a huge program for us for many years. We sold these to try me versions of these to Toys R Us as well. But mainly they were sold because KB would put them in a table in the front of the store, and and then demonstrate them. Okay, license items. This is the first time we introduced the pop culture. James Brown was the first pop culture item that we did. I mean, KB was the first one that bought it. I remember sitting in a meeting with all the KB, the buyer, the divisional, the GMM, and explaining, they were saying, well, it's not a toy. I was, yeah, but, it's just such, I convinced them to at least try it, and they're glad they did, because they were a big supporter of the pop culture series, and James Brown was the first one. So after this, then we came out with Dean Martin, Bing Crosby, Louis Armstrong, Hank Williams Jr., Rodney Dangerfield, and all the rest of them. Jeff Foxworthy, we were doing the Jeff Foxworthy license at the time. So here was a clock that we did like every hour. It would be, you might be a redneck if. So it was like the bird clock was really popular this time. So we did the Jeff Foxworthy clock. We did other clocks too. So we had can coolies that, you push the button and you might be a redneck sayings. It probably had, 6 sayings in each of them. We did Jeff Foxworthy keychain. We sold a lot of Jeff Foxworthy stuff. He was really popular at the time, so this was a good line for us. Caddyshack was huge for us. It started with this item, the Caddyshack gopher. And it's funny on this piece that the head movement, because the head movement kind of paused. It turned, it paused, it turned, it paused. And that was kind of by accident. They just didn't program it right. And then that was the first sample. The second sample, they didn't do the pause. I'm going, oh, wait a minute, you got to do the pause. And so we went back and doing the pause, and that really helped. And if you remember this item, when the head movement was really great and the arms would go up and down, this was a huge item for us. This was like a second version that we tried. It was okay. It did well, but not as good as this item. Novelty items. We tried these talking piggy banks. You can activate it by trying me, or if you put a coin in it, it would activate it as well. This one sings a song, money, 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 money. Sorry. or love of money. I'm not sure which song was the one I just sang, but there was 2 different money songs that we did. And so we had the pig, the turtle. We had the train. It's saying a Lionel Hampton song, Choo 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 Boogie, which I liked a lot of standard items, like, because in the Dancing Flowers, I put In the Mood, which was like the best of the Dancing Flowers. So I kept trying some of the classic standard songs, and this one didn't seem to work. I don't know if it's a song or it was just, the banks really just didn't take off. Another one, this is... they're both saying Choo Choo to Boogie, like a more, juvenile version of the, and kind of come with the face like Thomas the Tank. Non-animation items, putt and reel. This was an inventor item, didn't work. Again, the video at the top doesn't work, but basically you hit, the ball, and then you can reel it back with the string. And the problem we had with it, which when we signed it, we didn't realize it, that the fishing line would just get all tangled up. And so you had to untangle, you had to lift it up and let it roll, let it unwind. It's kind of a pain. It was a neat concept, but it really didn't take off. We sold some of it. Rock box, I don't even barely remember this, but it was just different, what was it? Just different songs that were played, and then you hit the song. It didn't really work. Boat motor was another inventor item. We did. First we tried it without license, then we got the Mercury license for it. When we got the Mercury license for it, it sold very well. I think like Cracker Barrel bought it, Bass Pro bought it. It sold pretty well for like a year and a half, 2 years. Stringlings, these are like puppets, so it had strings up at the top and like a cross, a cross that you can manually move the puppets. It was actually pretty cool. It didn't really sell that well. And an interesting story on this, because when we sold this to KB, then they went bankrupt for the first time, and then so they never paid us for it. And then we had a problem. We had a defective problem with the item. Something didn't work with it. I don't remember. And then the court forced us to actually pay them markdown money for an item that they didn't even pay us for. So we got like double whammy on this. So this wasn't a good item. Body lights is just some sourced item. I don't even really remember it. I don't even think we sold it. Mood ball. This is interesting.
To a happy life. Count to 10.
What the heck? Oh, wow.
Breathe before you speak.
The sound actually works on this. But this is a lady named Paula McClure. She was on like TV. She was just getting a national TV show when we did this, and it was like she had this mood spa. I met with her. We did this for her stores, her mood spa, and then we were gonna try to sell it to other people. Unfortunately, she died like within a year of this, and it was really kind of sad. I liked her a lot, and we never really got it out in mass, but we did sell it for her mood spa. Which, so here, and that was it. So that's kind of the initial line after Billy Bass. and just kind of give you an idea of some things. And then as we went forward, there's a lot more hamsters in these decks. There's a lot more frogs came, turtle dancers. But this was just kind of give you an indication of the early Gemmy animation. And we were the leaders in animation, and the hamsters really kind of helped lead the way because no one had anything that small for a long time that was animated. Thank you.